Thank you for joining us now. I am Frank Omalape. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has said that the Central Bank of Nigeria's processes of allocating foreign exchange have its members in a dire situation. The association said the manufacturing business was becoming an endangered sector due to challenges ranging from forex storage to many other issues. The Director General of the association, Segun Ajayi-Kadir, stated this during an interview section with journalists in Lagos. According to him, the government must deliberately address the issue of prioritizing the allocation of scarce forex. Ajayi-Kadir, who emphasized the importance of forex, said the misplaced priority on the part of the government had caused the manufacturing sector to suffer the most with regard to the allocation of forex. The Mandiji said the only way Nigeria will get out of the current forex crisis would be to bolster local production of goods which can't be manufactured within the country. Away from there now, the Securities and Exchange Commission on Sunday expressed its readiness to partner with the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation to deepen the commodities trading ecosystem and boost forex earnings. According to a statement issued on Sunday, the Director General SEC, Mr. Lamido Yugoda, stated this during a meeting with the management of NAIC in Abuja. Yugoda stated that the Commission was committed to developing the commodities ecosystem as a way forward in Nigeria's quest for sustainable foreign exchange earnings and economic development. He said in the past few months, the situation has been exacerbated by low oil production and oil theft in the country, which has often resulted in foreign exchange shortages and balance of payment problems. Yugoda said the Commission, as part of its implementation of 10-year Capital Market Master Plan, constituted a technical committee on commodities trading ecosystem with a mandate to identify challenges of the existing framework and develop a roadmap for a vibrant ecosystem. In her remarks, the Managing Director, NAIC, Folashade Joseph, stated that her organization was willing and available for any initiative that will add value to the populace and the nation's economy. The International Monetary Fund says the federal government has projected to spend 82% of its revenue on interest payment in 2023. According to the IMF, external debt, excluding that of private sector, will rise to $121.6 billion, with external reserves climbing to $37.5 billion. It disclosed this in a table of projections in it. IMF Executive Board concludes 2022 active or Article 4 consultation with Nigeria summary. The projections show that an improvement is in the share of government's revenue that was being used as interest payment, with interest payment falling from 96.3% in 2022 to 83 or 82% in 2023. It added that interest payment was 86.1% and 87.8% of the federal government revenue in 2020 and 2021 respectively. The Washington-based lender further stated that Nigeria was at a near-term downside risk of high debt servicing cost. And away from there now, Nigeria's mobile banking usage surged by 230.72% year-on-year in January 2023, according to data from Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, despite multiple reported failures. The leap in the use of banking apps and mobile gateways is traceable to the Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to redesign the Naira and the introduction of a new withdrawal limit policy, which made bank customers embrace mobile banking for their transactions. In January 2023, mobile gateways were used by 108.14 million times, a 230.72% increase from the 32.69 million times they were used at the corresponding period last year. During the period under review, the value of mobile transactions surged by 124.85% to 2.37% or 2.37 trillion naira from 1.05 trillion naira in January 2022. while the surge in the use of mobile payment began in 2020. A new CBN policy in 2022 is driving this new growth. While issuing the directive which spurred the current rise in mobile banking, the Apex Bank said the maximum weekly limit for cash withdrawals across all channels by individuals and corporate organizations shall be 500,000 and 5 million naira respectively. The queues for premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, at filling stations in Abuja, Lagos and other states cleared gradually between Saturday and Sunday following the release of increased volumes of PMS by the federal government. Oil marketers confirmed Sunday that additional volumes of petrol had been released by the federal government through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, which resulted in the disappearance of queues at filling stations. More outlets along the Zubakuba Expressway in Abuja, including NNPC retail stations, Corn Oil and Salvas, dispensed petrol Sunday and had few queues of motorists as opposed to what obtained some weeks ago. The Secretary, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abuja Suleja branch, Mohammed Shuaibu, said there has been an increase in the volumes of petrol released by the government through NNPC, and that is what is paying out now. In Lagos, the long queues drastically reduced following massive truck out of petrol by the federal government to depots since last week. The scarcity, which began in the fourth quarter of last year, saw the pump prices of PMS jump from 179 naira to 180 naira per litre to 100 and 500 naira per litre, depending on the location of the stations from the depots. The president of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Aliyu Wamako, has called for the arrest of the developers involved in the recent building collapse in the Gwarinpa area of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. He said most of the iron rods used in the building were iron 12, which were supposed to be iron 16 for that purpose. Adding that the professional who supervised the building should be arrested because he is an architect of the collapse. According to Wamako, professionals do not need to compromise on the expense of human lives, insisting that the most important issue is that the area belongs to Federal Housing Authority, but it is under the Federal Capital Territory Administration. He also pointed out that there are issues surrounding areas that are supposed to be residential and area that are supposed to be commercial. The random boss claimed that everywhere in Gwarinpa has been turned into a commercial area, which constitutes a big problem. In the same vein, the executive director of the Housing Development Advocacy Network, Festus Adebayo, called on the government to set up an investigation team to look into the recent building collapse. The HDAN boss called on the government to ask for the logbook of the professions involved in the project that blinded their eyes to poor quality materials. The special advisor to Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Works and Infrastructure, Aramide Adedoye, has called for the review of the 1962 Surveyors Act for better infrastructure planning and development. Adedoye made the call in Ikeja while delivering a keynote speech at the Meeting National Conference of the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors of Nigeria, which is a subgroup of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. While speaking on the theme, Roles of Surveying and Infrastructural Development in Nigeria, the special advisor noted that surveyors were indispensable aspects needed for accuracy in infrastructural planning and development across all sectors in the nation. While appealing to the association's members to continue to do things ethically, she called for the review of the Surveyors Act of 1962 to avert errors responsible for granting wrong approvals different from the Gazette ones. Adedoye said the Lagos State government was digitizing its operations and needed the collaboration of APPSN to ensure accuracy and efficiency in development planning in the state. The national chairman of the APPSN, Thomas Dabry, noted that the maiden annual national conference was convened and conceived by his predecessor, while the president of the Surveyors Council of Nigeria, Clement Nwabichi, said it was possible with the right feedback to add value to the profession and stressed the need for diversification of survey practice. You'll be watching Business Now, coming to you from our studios here. We'll take a quick commercial break. I'll be back with more news stories. Please stay with us.